Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so this is second take because the phone is messing up a little bit. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, we didn't do a show last week because we were watching stuff on TV. It was all weekend long into Monday, and we want to do that over paying attention to do another show. Plus, we didn't have any topic to talk about. I can think about. But this week we have a topic.
Yes.
Okay, so in our lives, we've been pretty good. Pretty basic. Going to work, coming home, doing stuff. So, but what we wanted to talk about was what happened Friday. Friday, the trans military ban officially went into effect. And so, seeing that I'm trans and she's a supporter, let's talk about that. That's timely. We don't do timely often, but we're doing timely now. So, you want to start? We have a special guest all of a sudden. Can you turn it off, please? Okay, so that great special appearance right there? Okay. I guess I'll start this thing. For me, I've always been kind of wanted to stand back and to see how everything's going to go. And with this, it happened, Trump tweeted it out, which I'm trying not to say bad things, but I might slip up. Trump tweeted it out, which is not how you present actual presidential things. You don't tweet them to people. Tweeted these out a couple of years ago, and it held up in court, and it was in, it's off, it's on, it's off, back and forth. And for me, and I've said this before already, it was really emotionally draining because there is a lot of emotion built up in the idea that being fit to serve the country that you love. And so this Friday I was like, okay, it's done, but I'm angry. I'm very upset that it actually did go through. I mean, I think what people tried to do is the most they possibly could do. Absolutely don't believe it was the right move. I did see, I'm going to point out something I saw. There was a thing going around talking about how, there's tons of things that get you disqualified. Are we okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can get disqualified for military service. And they're right, there are. But on a lot of those, there's ways to get waivers around it. I know flat feet was one that was mentioned. Are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Flat feet was one that was mentioned as this will disqualify you from service. Actually, it won't. I looked up diabetes. Where diabetes will disqualify you from service, but with waivers, it won't. If you're enlisting or if you are diagnosed while in service, a fit test can prove, if you can be certified fit to still serve, then you're still able to serve. These are, things that affect service just as much as being trans would, even probably more so. Mm-hmm. Because in my head, and this is me, if I have someone in my squadron who is squadron, platoon, however, whichever branch, who is diabetic and they don't get their diabetic medication, that's a life-threatening condition right then and there on the field, and that could be a really bad thing. Whereas for a trans individual to not get their testosterone or their estrogen or spironolactone or whichever wonderful thing they're on, it's generally not considered life-threatening at that point. We might get a little crabby and such, but not life-threatening. That's my take on it. That's... Do you want to say anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff going around the internet about why this is right or wrong. And the thing is, if you were to set a policy, not that I would agree with this policy either, but if you were to set a policy that says from now on, we are not accepting trans people, that'd be one thing. But to actually discharge service members who are actively serving and who are, who have passed basic training and passed all of the stuff that the military throws at you to even get in,
right,
and are already there, that's where it's really disturbing. Not that it would be good to pass a policy to not let trans people in. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the fact that they're also discharging active service members who...
Right, I had heard
what's
that,
upsetting.
But I hadn't seen anything official that they were discharging all of them. So that would mean about 13,000 people are being discharged. Brings up questions whether it will be an honorable discharge or dishonorable discharge.
And I have not seen anything on that.
How that's going to work, because that can affect their benefits afterwards. If it's dishonorable discharge, they don't get VA benefits, they don't get...
Right, and it makes it harder to get employed.
Yes, well...
Well, I know the California Coast Guard or National Guard has said no. They are not.
So it's the least of their
concerns at this point.
Right. And
so it's kind of a big deal thing as far as we have had several trans friends who have served. They served before they came out as trans, but nonetheless, they were fit to serve. They served their time, were honorably discharged, and have gone on to transition after.
Which I was telling her, I think that was almost, shows a little bit more, even tougher, resiliency. Is that the right word? To say that, being trans and not being out is horrible. It's like being trapped, and then to be able to go out and still serve your country honorably and get a honorable discharge is even bigger. I'm not saying that's the way we should go. I'm absolutely saying that if you're trans, you should be out and proud.
Right.
But I think trans people just have a little something extra sometimes. So, yeah.
It's one of the bigger issues that have happened. I mean, there's been lots of threats on the trans community. This is one of the first ones that has actually happened.
I mean, we've had, trans students' rights removed.
Let me rephrase. Happened on a large scale that we can...
right, something that's going to make national news.
Right. And again, that's 13,000 people, that are affected, and that's huge. And it's not right. And to use the thing that it's a mental condition, and I mean,
Is that what they're going with now?
I've seen some really nasty things circling around about how, if it was your child, would you want them serving with someone who, if they didn't, they don't know if they're a boy or a girl from one day to the next? Some really nasty stuff.
Well, those are people who don't understand what being trans is about.
Or if they don't take their medication, they can be suicidal, which, yes and no, it depends on the person. But if they have passed the test to get into the military, they're probably pretty mentally stable.
Right. It's not like we miss a pill and all of a sudden it's, oh my goodness, the world's going to end. That's not how that works.
And even if they're on a mission for a while, for most, if they understand that, they might, like she said, get a little cranky.
You get a little cranky. There are certain things that are going to happen that you're not going to like, and stuff. Is it is it the greatest situation? Absolutely not.
But like she said, it would be more dangerous for a diabetic to not have their medication than it would for a trans individual.
Right. I guess part of me wants to sit there and say that this is just par for the course at this point. It's been this administration kind of go-to, scapegoat whenever they feel like something's going wrong. It's, oh, well, we're going to strip trans people of this or strip trans people of that. And it solidifies their base up because, trans people are the most evil people on Earth. You know, we're I'm not trying to get off topic.
No.
But we're made as the boogeyman of the right at this point. Excuse me.
Which is crazy. And this administration, if you can't tell, we're not Trump fans.
What?
It is because of the things he's done, not because of whether there's an R or D in front of his name. It's because of the actual things that he's done.
Right.
And it's very frustrating.
Right, because I remember sitting in this room 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, and watching the election, and I was in full on, Hillary's kind of got this in the bag. She's a way better candidate. She doesn't say stupid half the time. She did stupid a couple once in a while, but everyone does. But Trump was a walking, talking mess, and how in the possibly thing could he win? And it went from that situation to, holy crap, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And
we had completely different approaches to it.
I flipped out. I flipped out that night. I bawled my eyes out, scared to death what was going to happen next.
And I was and if there's any Trump supporters watching this, sorry guys, but I was maybe he's just too stupid to do anything. That was honestly my...
I promise he's stupid and he does things. You also said, hey, let's hold on. He said he was pro-LGBT.
He did.
He did. But he says stuff. Remember, windmills cause cancer now, honey.
Yes. Well, okay, it's been 2.5 years. Okay, we've learned, okay?
Well, I think it was 13 days into office is when he stripped trans students of their rights, of equal rights. And I was like, okay, so this is how it's going to be. And now we're here with the
trans-military ban.
Trans-military ban being into effect.
And it's kind of a what's next, because now that he's done this...
Right, what's the next step? I know in Texas right now there is concern for a bill that could make it where doctors can use deeply held religious beliefs not to treat people.
And I'm sorry, if your deeply held religious beliefs includes hate, you ain't doing it right.
Pretty much, yeah. So, but here's the thing, and here's deeply held religious beliefs. I know people who have deeply held religious beliefs that white people are better. That's not true. So this is such a far-reaching bill in that case. I think that bill came up here a couple years ago.
Possibly, but it was shot down.
For those who don't know, we are in Oklahoma, and we get a ton of anti-LGBT, anti-abortion, anti-women's rights bills that come through a lot. Anti-education. Anti-education is really big right now because they're still really mad at us.
Yes, but that's a topic for another day.
Yes. Here we've had bathroom bills and a bill that was almost passed, was so close to passing. Actually, it did pass, and the governor vetoed it because
which one
was the right to discriminate in business.
Right. That
one the governor vetoed because the wording wasn't exactly correct, and threw it back down, and they reworked it, and it didn't pass back through because one of the Democrats slipped a thing in where you had to post who you wouldn't serve on your window, and gone.
Yeah.
Because these people are cowards. That's the thing. The people who are behind the trans-military ban, people who are behind all these
LGBTQ plus bills are cowards.
Are cowards. They're not going to stand out in the light of day. Just going through, we have our representative proposed a bill this session that would make it where you had to disclose where the bill came from, because a lot of the bills that come through, the legislature who proposes them doesn't actually write them. They come from organizations like ALEC is one of them, who does a lot of education for vouchers. It does a lot of those. American Defense of Family. There's a bunch of different ones who will write bills and just hand them off to legislators to give. This year, one was an anti-abortion bill where it was seen as murder for abortion. It was, the woman and the doctor could go to prison for murder. That was by Joseph Silk. And everyone was like, "Oh my goodness!" And it didn't even get I think it went to committee and didn't get a vote. It didn't even make it to a vote on the committee.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. But now this exact same bill is up in Texas. So
they get passed around.
They do.
But we have gotten way off topic.
Yeah, we have. Sorry, I have a love-hate relationship with religion and with politics.
Yes. So trans-military ban went into effect. Yeah, kind of a big deal in our community.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't the end. This is not the end of where it stops. Right. They're like, okay, well, we've banned them from the military. We're all done with them now. Who do we pick on next? It's not stopping here. It will continue to move on from this point.
And most likely start targeting other groups as well.
Oh yeah, we're only 1.4 million or something.
Yeah.
Out of 300 million. I mean, there's a whole lot more people to target who aren't white and Christian. So sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
So anyway, thank you guys for
listening.
You
for this rant. This was pretty much a rant.
Thank you for allowing us to rant, and we'll see you next week. And if you got questions, send them to us.
Post them down there. If you're friends with one of us on Facebook,
you can post them there.
You can post them there, or Lori Rachel Show at gmail.com. We have an email address.
Mm-hmm.
That will work. Or we have an Instagram channel that is Lori Rachel Show. I think, is it the Lori Rachel Show? Or the Lori and Rachel Show on Instagram. And we also have, pretty new, a Facebook group that you can join and post questions there. Lots of ways to ask questions.
Comments, concerns, debates.
Yeah.
Communicate with us. So we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.